Greetings, my movie ghouls. Welcome back to our Halloween countdown, 31 Days of Horror. David Cronenberg left a slightly bad taste in my mouth when I watched and reviewed Scanners. So I decided to watch a Cronenberg film that I watched when I was way too young, just because I know how good it is. The problem is, I haven't watched it since I was a kid, and I realised as an adult that sadly, this film is one of the best body horror movies ever made.
Help me. Please, help me.
So I didn't appreciate it when I was a kid. I just got scared. Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis star in this remake of the 1958 film of the same name, starring Vincent Price, that was an adaptation of Frank Langella's short story, again of the same name, from 1957. And despite the classic status of the 1958 film, this 1986 movie, in my opinion, is a lot better. Cronenberg's film gives a new interpretation of the 1958 film, changing the camp horror from that film, but becoming something of its own. So it's not bogged down in being just another remake. Now, one thing Scanners had that I couldn't deny was the special effects. And as I said in that video, they were good, but Cronenberg perfected them in later movies. The story, if you need telling, follows brilliant but eccentric scientist Seth Brundle as he meets science journalist Veronica Ronnie Quaife. He tells her how he is on the verge of changing the world with his new invention.
How you doing?
She initially doesn't believe him, but when he shows her what it is, she wants to be the one to break this story to the world. This is because he is on the verge of creating the world's first transporter. What Cronenberg does well from the get-go is he makes the two main characters likable and convincing as a couple, which Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum became, and they were married in 1987. And it's this that helps the audience identify with when the tragedy strikes, we feel for both the characters. Another element that works well to make us root for the new couple is the addition of top-tier knobhead Stathis, played by John Getz, who is Davis's sexist, egotistical editor who had a relationship with her and is jealous to hell. We are made to hate him early on, and it's because of him that Brundle gets jealous and goes into the telepods. The film is horrifying, but along with that comes a tragic love story that ends in a gross and gruesome culmination that keeps you thinking long after the credits have rolled. Trust me, it stays on your mind. This film isn't for everybody, and yet it's a film that is hard not to like, because there's so much going for it. As I said earlier, it works remarkably well because the two leads manage to get you invested in their story. They are able to convince the audience that what is being shown is actually happening. The sci-fi element is grounded and paced in such a way that it feels plausible. I wouldn't step foot in those telepods if you asked me. Other than the tragic love story, you have the loss of self as Seth begins to change. First finding himself gaining incredible agility, strength, and a hunger for sugar. You could even add that this is a allegory for addiction too, because Seth finds himself gaining incredible agility and strength, but after a while he becomes very selfish. And then the tragedy kicks in. We then see him come to the realization that it can't be stopped, it can't be reversed, and when he knows he's becoming an insect, he explains to Ronnie that if she stays, he will hurt her.
Have you ever heard of insect politics? Neither have I. Insects don't have politics. They're very brutal. No compassion, no compromise. We can't trust the insect. I'm saying I'm an insect who dreamt he was a man and loved it. But now the dream is over. And the insect is... I'm saying... I'll hurt you if you stay.
It's an excellent film, and my wife noted that the effects are superb. And looking at them, yes, they are absolutely beautiful. Well, I say beautiful, I mean they're gross, but they look gorgeous. The effects went on to win the 1987 Oscar for Best Makeup, and it was well deserved. Watching Seth's decline from human to insect is extremely visceral, with the different body parts falling off and being stored in the kitchen cabinet. The finale ramps up to a fast-paced, high-stake fight. It shows us the truly horrifying way that insects eat, and the culmination of the body horror as Seth becomes a full-grown insect, having his human outer shell just fall away and leaving a massive fly. It even goes further than that, because the main villain of the piece becomes a kind of hero trying to protect Ronnie, even after having a lot of pain inflicted on him. The Fly is an excellent film, a film that showcases the extent practical special effects can go, having Goldblum crawl the walls using a rotating rig and fixed camera. His metamorphosis from human to insect using every piece of makeup under the sun is fantastic, and I am glad I watched it again. The Fly is receiving a full 5 fly-filled pumpkins. It's fantastic, and if you haven't seen it, I urge you all to watch it. Go now and watch it before they remake it again. Let me know what you thought of The Fly in the comments below, and why not swat that subscribe button and ring that bell to be buzzed every time we upload a video. Thank you for watching. Remember, sleep tight.
You are about to go beyond that limit.
Ha 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 ha!